All right, good morning, everyone. It's Lindsay Duff with Motivated Trader. It's Thursday, November 9th, 2017. I'm sorry, I haven't been around a lot lately. I still have been doing some trading. It's just, I'm really working hard to, figure out this curriculum. I'm trying to make this so understandable for y'all, and at the same time, I have to remember a few things that are being left out. So, now, what I wanted to talk about here, I was trying to hurry and open this because I wanted to look at how normally we'd be looking at a short trade here, and I almost felt myself getting suckered in. Reversal bars, reversal bar, reversal looking bar. But what's really going on here is, guys, look, we've got a strong push up in the MACDs, weak retracement above the zero line. We had some major retracement divergence here. Look at this. Now, I know I've got some extra MACDs on here. I've been looking at MACDs that I used to use, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back to them because I think it's going to be easier to teach how to read these MACDs if you have the Bollinger Bands along with it. These are great, and they look great, but there's a lot going on here that we're leaving out. And it's the way that they ride off of these Bollinger Bands and the expectancy from seeing that happen. So I've just kind of been watching both, and I know that my eyes are more drawn here than they are here. I've also squished things up because I want you to be able to see more, and it's actually pretty awesome. It really kind of makes my price bars a little smaller so I don't get that anxiety of them being these giant bars. Now, am I looking for a short trade still as it's pulling back here? No, I'm not. Look at the strength of these MACDs to the upside. I need to get a slowdown. I need to get a curl. I need to get, we've got a lot of room to the zero line here, but what I'm looking at, guys, this is what I've been leaving out for y'all is the 10,946, and I've been trying to think of a way to get it in here, and here it is. We have a lot of space to run back into the EMAs. It may continue down because it's a lower pivot, but right now the MACDs are showing some strength to the upside. The zero line may give us a bit of a bounce. Right now this area is holding. We just had a bit of an overrun. It was actually a great opportunity for a long trade back in here to take us back to the EMAs. When I did sit down, I can't remember exactly what time did I sit down. What time was it was probably about 8:45. Yeah, so it was right about this time. Oh, nope. No, I remember watching this right here. It pulled back. It was a beautiful little area to push down. Right in here, when it pulls back, it gives you a lower pivot in the MACDs, rolls even smaller pivot there, and there was a great re-entry opportunity, even though it was right into a support area, just flowing along with the MACDs, and it gave you the signal that it wasn't going to continue anymore. Actually, I think I may just get rid of this MACD and just stick with these for now. It's the exact same thing. There's nothing that's changed except I've got the Bollinger Bands on there. Check news. There wasn't any news. It's just a hard push back to the upside. Ooh, there's that roll off pushing up. Look at how strong these. Okay, I know I've been teaching y'all about these MACDs, and these are kind of the same thing. I mean, they are exactly the same thing. I just have a little bit different colors, and there's space, and I just kind of want you to see them together with these Bollinger Bands. When they're wide and spread apart, just like the EMAs, it's showing strength and momentum. So this move to the upside had a lot of strength because these Bollinger Bands were really spreading apart. When they start pinching together, it shows weakness. So when the MACDs are curling and slowing, and the Keltner channels are starting to, Bollinger Bands, excuse me, are really starting to pinch together, it shows weakness. Ooh, we pulled right up into that area to give the bounce off of it. I don't think I would be prepared to take it. I would have to see this pull up and give me a little bit of divergence for a push back down. Could this roll off here? Yes. Could this just be an overrun? Absolutely. The fact that the EMAs are open to the upside here a little bit gives me just a little bit of hesitation, but man, I think that is more the thought process with the market has been continuing up. So if we look back here, we can see we've had plenty of these overruns. With as long as these EMAs stay open to the upside, I'm not going to anticipate this to continue down forever. Now, can this just roll off of here, push down? Absolutely. And maybe give us something like here before it pushes back to the upside. I don't feel like I'm in a position to really take anything at this time. All right. If this crosses, and I know it sounds, I'm not going to get into it right now, but if this crosses, I'll be looking for a little bit of a push to continue up for a little bit more. That's a lot of strength down in the MACDs. I'm not going to just hop in like that. Down, wait till the MACDs slow. This is looking like it wants to cross right here. Cross is usually good for at least 1 point. Ooh, it might not. It might just roll off of there. That's why patient, waiting. And give it a quick shot. I like the way this one's starting to roll up. 2 ticks behind there. I will not let this go very far. First one we'll take out there. Let's watch this. We want it to come up here. I'm just looking for if that tiny bit of weakness starts to happen. If this rolls off that top Bollinger Band, I'm not staying in this anymore. But just kind of watching everything together. Some reversal bars. Ooh, that went pretty quickly. Did cross, and it gave us that point. So, you know, I have to be aware that it did give me that point. And I didn't take it. I should have been waiting right here at that point, because that's really what we're looking for in that crossover. It's pulling back down a little bit, but it's not with a ton of strength. Ooh, this pushed up and didn't cross that top Bollinger Band. We're pulling right into the EMAs here. I may be digging a bit of a grave if I stay in this one. I want to just give this just a moment because the crossover is just happening. So guys, I'm watching everything as it's happening. Starting to slow that roll on the 610 MACDs to the downside. Stay right here, just a tick behind this last little pivot, 2 ticks behind this. I am really watching this tight and close. I like the way the MACDs are still rolling up here. They're still bouncing up here. EMAs are still open here, which tells me we still have a chance to continue up. Need that to really roll. We're above that zero line. This is not pushed down. Yeah. Here we go. Give it to about right here. Maybe give me a little bit of divergence if it is going to push down first. Let's see what's going to happen here for a moment. It's not following through and pushing up here, but we still got a ton of strength here. I know it looks like I'm moving it around a bunch, and I kind of am at this moment. It's because I'm getting myself suckered into these MACDs. This is still pushing up. That's got a ton of strength to the upside still. So what we're really doing is we're starting at the highest time frame. What's the highest time frame telling us? And we've got to work our way down and watch it down to like the little bits and pieces, saying, okay, it did push down a little bit more. These prices are leading just a tiny bit higher. I can see this going. This is kind of the breaking point here. It's pushing up above the Bollinger Band here. Ton of strength to the upside on the MACD here. And then my first one was a really quick exit. And I almost let myself get suckered out. Okay, we're at that first area. This is the point where we said, okay, what we'd be looking for here is a divergence on the 610 for my first sign of a turnaround. But this says, forget your divergence right now. And so does this. That's a ton of strength up. So my next area is right here. I am going to be prepared. Tiny little bar. Okay, keep going. Pushing up. Let's just kind of get a 100%. So we're right at 61% right now. 100% is just a little bit higher. Okay, this will give me a reversal bar here. I'm going to go ahead and take my exit. I'm getting a little reversal bar here. I'm pulling into the areas. We do have strength to the upside, but we've got that divergence. That is our first sign of a push down on the 610. Right at the 61%. So Yeah, really, I could have just taken it when I started to see this reverse bar, but it may still go up, guys. It's outside here, a ton of strength up here. Yeah, I mean, just looking at this now, I'm almost pretty hardcore certain I'm going to switch back to these MACDs. Oh, sorry. So my first one was a really, really quick exit. You know, sometimes I do have that bit of a struggle between the immediate reaction and the overall reaction. And so what I have to do is continuously say, okay, this is what this is telling me. Let's see what the rest of it is telling me. We had a strong push-up, a weak retracement, major retracement divergence. Yeah. I have a feeling we're going to be ditching these other ones, which means I'm going to have to remake a ton of videos. And I don't think it's going to be a big deal because I've already got everything kind of scripted out. But yeah, I think we'll be moving back over to these to these MACDs. There's just so much information you can get by seeing the way they react and pull back, the way they roll off of areas, the way that they roll off of these. I keep wanting to call them Bollinger band or Keltner channels, but they're Bollinger bands. It's just more information. That divergence is the first sign of the push down, but with the EMAs opening up, I want to give it just a moment. It's pulled away, it's snapping back into here. All right, I hear my dad getting back from the VA hospitals, and that may be all I'm able to do for a bit today. So we'll see in a moment. Okay, so the question would be, am I looking to take a long trade from here? And the answer was absolutely not. You had the zero line to push off here. You had the higher time frame EMAs opened up here. You had divergence to push you back into the area, and the possibility of this pushing more down. I really don't feel like this is going to continue down. We're probably going to get another scenario, something like this, which may take the entire day. But it's kind of a wait and see for me. Definitely not taking a short from here. Remember, you know, I try and trade the 1597 over the 610, but sometimes my sight kind of draws back to the 610. Now it's setting up for a possibility for a long trade. It's getting down that ball and Bollinger band, which it could roll off of, but it's got a lot of angle and spacing. You got a white or blue BB here starting to push up. Still has the zero or the other Bollinger band it could roll off of. Yeah, go up, but I'm not looking to take it. I'm almost looking for a bit of a head and shoulders here to give us a push back down to this area. Maybe give us a little bit more divergence here, possibly even some divergence here, something like this, or maybe like this to push back up. Or maybe my mind is just, you know, in the wrong places. So I'm just going to watch it, let it do its thing. I think what I've been doing is I had used these for so long that I could kind of see when this was happening, but to be able to have you visualize it, you know, having it visualized and actually having it displayed right in front of you are two different things. So, you know, having that displayed up there for you is probably going to help you to see strength and momentum, seeing, you know, when it's pulled far away from these EMAs. I keep saying EMAs because they kind of run like EMAs, except these don't cross. But when they pull away from the Keltner channel, Bollinger bands, good Lord. Going to go through every indicator because, you know, if you don't know the names of them, we can have a name game. Yeah. Well, yeah, this is pulling back up. This is all the reaction you've had in the MACD so far. And a pretty decent pullback. Could roll off here. Could continue up, but this is just that little overrun of the zero line that we see happen often right here at this point. Alright, sorry, I was having a little discussion with the pops. Mark this one here. I can even see the possibility here when this pulls back, the fact that it's broken below the bottom Bollinger band here. It's rolling down. I will be very, very cautious as it's getting down to the EMA and be prepared for a slowdown here. This one I marked a little bit late. I would actually, if I had done it when I marked it, it would have gotten me in about right here. And for the record, I would have totally passed on this long. Did it set up for it? Yep. I would have passed on it. Okay, still a lot of strength. No slowdown. This isn't really pushing down here. Starting to get a reversal bar, potential reversal bar. There's still 1,000 ticks, so right back into that support area. I probably would, if I was in 2 contracts, I'd be taking one out now. Yeah, I'm currently solving Bluetooth issues for my dad. So, first one would have been there. Second one, we would have the risk already moved down. You know, first off, definitely would have been here. This pushes down a little further. Risk is going to go about here, but it's got to push past this area first. Otherwise, it could potentially just pop back up, especially with these EMAs being opened. These are to the downside. These are to the downside. This one has a good potential to cross. I like to pull them back and really look. It's angled down. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of this zero line being here, nor of this pushing down very hard with how far this is pushed down. So I'm just kind of hovering over my wait and see if this is going to push down. If this does, there we go. It's closing past this area, pushing outside, rolling off that Bollinger Band, pushing down. Lots of strength as we're getting to the zero line, but this is a very typical spot where it can do like this. Just roll off and continue up. So I'm just kind of watching. I mean, I would dig it if we got some continuous downward movement. It'll give us areas to go back to. It'll give us lots of things that we can work with. I like this tiny little bar enough that I would probably, if this takes off anymore, I would just lock in a little bit of profit. It pushes down a little bit more. I don't really dig locking in that profit right there because it's got a great area that it can pull back to, but at the same time, do we want it to pull back that far? Yeah, I would be locking in profit behind here now. And I'm just holding on to my exit. I know I'm not actually in it. I'm just a little distracted, which is the story of my life. Alright, so this would be where I'd be thinking about an exit, but still a ton of strength down here, ton of strength down here, just pulling into the zero line, just trying to roll over here. It's almost like a head and shoulder possibility to the upside. There's a lot of strength coming down on that MACD. Yeah, this would be about the point where we're like, oh, I want out. Oh, yeah. That tiny little bar. It's the zero line here. It's nothing changing in the rollover here. It takes a lot longer to change in that rollover on the 10,946. You know, you look at something like here. It's already moved down pretty far, but there's a good chance of this popping back up here. And go is going to keep going. That would have been a good spot to move the risk. Let's just look. I just want to see when this move actually is going to end. There's a lot of strength down here. It just pulled in and rolled off. Yep. If I went out then, I'd be out now. There's still a lot of strength down here, but it's just a big area that could hold up. Gonna jumble up here. Another reversal bar. Still no change in the rollover here. If I hadn't gotten out here, I'd probably gotten out about the same price here. Okay, I wanted to come back to this. I've made some changes. I actually made my charts a little bit smaller. They were really big. And when they're really big, it makes these bars really big. I also just went ahead and ditched my old MACDs, well, my newer MACDs, and went back with my old ones. I did mark along here in real time with the entry and the exit. I've got quite a bit going on over here today. My dad just left for the VA hospital, so we're okay for a few minutes. I really wanted to come back and talk about what was happening in here. what really made my decisions for these entries and exits. So for the entry, we got the roll off of the EMA here. Everything just kind of pulled back, started to open up. It pulled back. And I say my entry, I know I didn't actually take it, but I did mark these in real time. It pulls back, and as the MACDs are just flowing to the upside here, lots of strength popping up here, definitely had the potential to push through. The exit was based off of pulling into these EMAs. And now it is rolling to the downside. You know, being below this zero line here, it could really continue. I think we're going to have a look more something like this. Just, that's my speculation, although this is getting pretty close. It's hard to see with those dots. You really want to see this EMA angle down sharp. And actually this one start to turn as well, and see this really give us the potential to cross. When these EMAs cross, doesn't matter what time frame you're looking at, when these EMAs cross, it is huge. It gives quite a bit of potential for moves. And so this one has a great potential to cross. Now, on the 10-9-46, when these EMAs cross, let's see the last time it happened. It's been a while. Here it goes. The pullback does not happen at the crossover. So here's the crossover. The pullback is not going to make it all the way back there every time. It did here, but it's not going to make it back there every time. And the EMAs stay, looking at some trades that I'm looking at talking about, making some videos about. Here's where it happens at the crossover. Those crossovers, guys, are way bigger than you think. So we've got a little potential for an M pivot to keep pushing down. We did have lower MACDs here, which was another reason for the exit. The rollover, snap back in here and here. I'm not worried about being below the zero line here. That's not a big deal, but we're below here. So these two, they were both below everything. They did both have a lot of distance to run back up to the zero line. Now this one says the potential to go down, being below the zero line, angling down. This one says definitely potential to go down. EMA's open, but back above the zero line. So could it roll off the zero line and continue up? Absolutely. Could it push through and continue down? Well, these Bollinger Bands are getting pretty close together, so it could very easily snap through there, give a little pullback, and roll back down to the downside. More than anything, though, I really wanted to come back and just kind of touch base with you know, what we had seen happen here. I had another little area that I had marked, and just showing how these EMAs hold. Ooh, I love the way that this is really pinching tight. It's pinching a lot tighter than it has in the past. Look how much space is between these. Just barely anything. So this may be where we start seeing some more downward movement. There's a nice little pullback with no reaction in the MACDs. Just can't really, this is not something that, I don't like to say that I have a trading plan per se, because I think it's always shifting. You know, you do have to have a certain set of guidelines, a certain set of rules, but there are trades that some days I will take and some days I won't, just depending on the market environment. Just looking at like how much the price has pulled up and come back down. MACDs are about equal in how much they've pulled up and come back down. So they're all, everything's in tune right now on the 610. Pretty in tune on the 1597. Needs some catching up to do on the 4181. Has not crossed that top Bollinger Band on the 10946. And, you know, just since we talked about it, I'll just put an arrow there. I wasn't actually planning on being here much longer. This may be the one that doesn't work out for us. That pop back, it would be somewhere in here, somewhere down in here. It's just this, man, I should though, because of the way, there's something on my table that is killing my mouse. The way these are really pinching together, this may finally give us that, that crossover. So outside and angled. I guess I'm just, you know, given that typical fear of the zero line. I mean, it would be right in here. My heart's not in it. Still outside of these Bollinger Bands. Breaking outside of this one. There it goes. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to put it there because I backed off from it, but this was right where I was looking at it. Just, my heart wasn't in that one, and that's all right. We don't have to be in it, everyone, even if it's a great move. I'd be looking at an exit now if I was in it. Give us a big old M. And it was an M right here, which we talked about just a few minutes ago. Yep, there she blows. Okay. So I just wanted to come back and kind of discuss those things a little bit. You know, there are so many things going on here that we have to pay attention to. And it's really just a flow of everything together. The flow is, what is our highest time frame telling us? What is the next time frame telling us? What is the next one? What's our entry? What can we do to find the lowest risk entry, the lowest risk, you know, the best price on the exit? Why are the MACDs and the price moving in this manner to have us understand this? Man, this is gonna be the one, huh? Yeah, it could be. I don't know. These Bollinger Bands are pretty wide and spread apart. This move down has not been really significant in the 10-946 MACDs. So, I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the day. I'm already gone way past my limit on planning on trading today, time-wise. So, we're just going to shut it down. It's a beautiful day to have movement, though. I like it. I like it a lot. So, I'm going to add this to the end of my video. I'm going to edit out a bunch of the other videos so it's not 30 minutes long. We'll just try and make this about 20 minutes or so. And then I've got things to do. So, hope y'all having a fabulous day. Ooh, there's the crossover, but the crossover is so far down here. Maybe get a point out of it. Let it do its thing. Anyways, have a fabulous day, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. And I'll catch y'all soon.